What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one I'll be answering some questions I've received in the last week or so about different things. It's really not one topic people have wanted to discuss, so I'll try to answer those questions as much as possible. Hello. No. So I'll try to answer those questions as much as possible, and hopefully give you guys some answers. There's been no change in the entry requirements. There's been no announcement yet of when visas on arrival should be here, but I do have an answer for a question I received an email to just yesterday concerning the e-visa, so I'll talk about that as well. And also, as a reminder, I want to say thank you to all my supporters. Hey, if you're on my list to receive my weekly exclusive videos and other stuff, you should have received an email yesterday. And in that email will be a copy of my new short horror story that I'm writing for my new book. It's going to be a book of short stories. And I finish that one, and I send it out to all my supporters. They get to read it free. They get to read it first, because I appreciate everything they do for me. And if you want to be a part of that, receive my weekly exclusive videos, get copies of my stories, my books, and hear all the news first before I put it on my public channel, then you can do so by donating down below. You can go to PayPal, Ko-Fi.com, or you can join my Patreon. And when you do those things, you get every exclusive thing I send out throughout the week as a way of me saying thank you, because I really do appreciate each and every donation. I love my supporters. Thank you, guys. Now let's get on with the video. So the first question I had was concerning the e-visa. Somebody's in a country that doesn't have a Cambodian embassy in their country, and they do have the option on the electronic visa website to request an E-type visa, the long-term stay visa. However, there's a part where they need to show and provide proof that they have a letter of intent, a letter of sponsorship, or a letter of employment before they can apply. And they wanted to know what that means. Is there a department or an agency that can help them get that? And how they would go about doing it if there is. Well, the short answer is no. There's not a special department for that. There's not a special company or anything that will facilitate that. What they're looking for in this letter of intent, the letter of sponsorship, letter of employment, is a letter from a company in Cambodia, registered in Cambodia, that you are going to be volunteering for, you're going to be employed with, or you're going to be working for in some capacity. And of course, since you're not here to receive that letter, it's something you'll have to do before you apply for your electronic e-visa. That's a requirement at this point to receive one before arrival. And as far as I know, there's no business that's going to hand out fake documents or a fake signature for people who are looking for one of these letters to accommodate their help. So really, you just need a job or something beforehand from a company in Cambodia, an NGO perhaps, you know, one of the charitable organizations, or something along those lines. Or if you're a teacher and you can get a job somewhere at a school, a guaranteed employment before coming over here, that'd be great too. And they would then send you that letter of intent or employment, and they'll have a stamp on it signifying that they're registered with the country. And then you should be able to get your electronic e-visa before coming on over here. The only other way to get one, like I said, is to wait until the visas on arrival are announced. But again, we don't know when that's going to be. I have heard rumors that sometime in April, but we're all sitting here on pins and needles waiting to see how this plays out. But yeah, as far as getting a letter of employment or sponsorship beforehand, you'll have to do that yourself. You'll have to contact some companies if you plan on working or being employed by one of these places and get that letter from them directly. I can't help you out with forging any documents or anything. So something you're gonna have to do on your end. Another question I had was about and I get this a lot, about the proper or a good area to live in. What do I recommend? I mean, this person realized that coming here to get an apartment was really easy. They're all over. You can find one in a day. If you got the money, you can move in. But they don't want to get stuck in the wrong area. And the thing is, the right area for you, like a lot of things in Cambodia that people want answers to, some of these answers are going to be very person specific, depending on your wants, your needs, your likes. Things I might like and enjoy in certain areas, you might not be appreciative of those things. You might not like them as much. I do advise against renting anywhere near a school or a wat, a temple, because those tend to be noisy, especially early in the morning with bells ringing, monks chanting, loudspeakers blaring. So I wouldn't really recommend that unless you're an early morning person and don't mind it. Then go ahead. But other than that, I said in a previous video when I talked about what's a good place, what's a good area to live in Siem Reap, there's really no bad areas. I mean, I've never experienced a bad area as far as, you know, oh, don't go to that area, man, crime's really bad, and all the people there are, you know, want to murder you in your sleep or something like that, you know. Nothing like that's ever happened. I've lived in areas that are fairly busy and fairly populated, and then now where I live, not so much. But if I were to recommend a place for somebody to start out, someplace I think most people would appreciate, and at least for a little while until they can find their own, you know, their own place in another area, I would say if you can find somewhere in the Wat Bo area. That's where I started out for the first 2 years I was here. It's a pretty big area, all kinds of different apartments for rent. It's got a great mix of local and expats living there. So it's not strictly a local area, not strictly just filled with, you know, foreigners. It's got a good mix of both. Lots and lots of little stores and restaurants and you know, almost anything you could find in that area. Little stores up and down the streets, little mom and pop shops. They got clothing stores over there. They got general merchandise stores. There's a nice bookstore over there where you can buy stationery supplies, you know, books, obviously, pens, pencil, all that good stuff that you could want. and all kinds of other things that you'll find yourself wanting or maybe needing someday. So it's a good area to start out in. It is a little bit pricey. It is a little bit more expensive for what you can get in some of the areas that are a little bit further out, like what we have now, because it is a big expat filled area. It's kind of like downtown, you know. But overall, it's a very nice area, and it's kept pretty clean. And I think most people would enjoy it starting out. By the way, I was sitting here to get bananas. As you can see, there's no dearth. Look at no dearth of bananas. Lots of bananas here. So we'll just see what I can do. Singlai sends me out on these little missions. I think it's a test to see if I come back with the right thing like she would pick. But I look at all these bananas and I get a little, oh my god, I don't know. Which ones look good, guys? I don't know. Got all different kinds right here. Well, let me try this one over here. And I'll get back to you guys as soon as I get my bananas. Alright, I think I did good. Got a bag of bananas. Got a big old banana truck backing up here, so I better get out of the way. Don't want to be a... Don't want to have death by banana truck. That would be a horrible way to die. But yeah, you can get apartments here all over. Like I said, at an average expat rent of $150, you should be good. Should be able to get enough amenities for that. Live comfortably. Not have to worry too much unless you want a bigger space, and those are certainly available. But that should help. And of course, the third question I get is when I get way too much of, and I don't. I ran out of ways to try to tell people, but I'll try it one more time. How much money do I need to live over there? That one probably more than anything is dependent on you and your lifestyle and your, you know, kind of things you like to do. How much entertainment do you want? You're gonna go out to the bars all the time. You're gonna be taking women out all the time. You're gonna be eating out more all the time, and if so, where? Are you gonna be eating as locally as possible, or are you gonna be going to Western type places like Burger King and Domino's, or, you know, more expensive type expat restaurants? All that's going to have a huge decision on how much you can live with over here. I mean, if you're asking me for a base, I can tell you that you can live for, you know, $350 all the way up to $1,500. But that's going to depend again on what kind of apartment you get, how much you're paying for it, how much you use your electricity. That's pretty expensive here. You're going to be buying food at the local markets. You're going to go to the big Western style supermarkets. You're going to be eating out at fancy places, or are you going to be making it more local? So all of that's going to have a determination, and I can't really tell anybody with any amount of certainty how they should use their money here to live a certain way. Live the way that makes you happy, as long as you got the money to do it. I've never needed much, never really wanted much. I found out the bigger the space I have, the more I'm tempted to just fill it up with stuff that I don't really need. But that's just me. I like to live light. And I'm just as happy as, maybe even more so than some people who you know, have a lot of money to spend every month, but for some reason they just seem to be miserable here. They got really nice apartments, you know, for $100 a month. They can run the aircon all day and all night without ever having to step outside. They get all their food delivered from, you know, all the best restaurants in town. They can afford to do all that, and I'm happy for them. I'm glad for them. But then when you talk to them, they just seem like a miserable old people, man. Complain about everything, never have anything good to say. I don't understand it. But the point I'm trying to make is having the most amount of money and the most things does not make a person happy. That's all I'm saying. So, like, yeah, if you plan on living local, you can get by on less. If you plan on having some kind of extravagance in your life or some kind of luxury items, then a little more. But that decision is going to fully be on you, which is why I don't even do cost of living videos anymore. Because it just makes people go crazy. Everybody either says I'm not spending enough, I'm a cheap Charlie, or they say oh man, you're spending way too much. I know people who live there for half of what you're paying. And everybody's got an opinion about it, but a lot of those opinions come from people that don't even live here, so don't take them to heart, is all I'm saying. Find a place that makes you happy, live a life that makes you happy, and let everybody else figure out their own, and you'll be better off for it, I think. So there you go, the 3 questions I had this week. Hopefully that answers some of them. Be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, you can send a donation through my PayPal, Ko-Fi.com, or join my Patreon, and you'll receive all the benefits of doing so. Weekly exclusive videos, copies of my stories, copies of my books, and all the news, all the important news and changes that are happening before anybody else hears about them. Also, other channels vlogging from this part of the world, they are listed down below for your pleasure as well. Be sure to check all those out. Really good content on there. I think you'll be happy. And you get my social media. That's down there somewhere, and other things as well. All right, from Siem Reap, Cambodia, where we're expected to get a lot of wind and a lot of rain in the next few days. But I will talk to you guys in the next one.